The Japanese tank industry is almost 100 years old, as it was in the 1920s when the first tanks appeared in Japan. Even though the earliest experiments were not particularly successful, modern Japanese MBTs are considered to be among the very best out there. Today we're going to talk about the ways you can use those MBTs to unlock their full potential. The ST-A1 was the first post-war MBT developed in Japan. There's some obvious American influence here, as it is armed with a 90mm M3A1 gun, which is the tank's main selling point. Powerful APC-BC shells either one-shot or severely cripple enemy vehicles. And there's also a Heat FS round that can penetrate up to 305mm of steel. Very handy against particularly well-protected foes. The ST-A1 is pretty fast in reverse, making it a good pick for the front line. But due to the tank's weak armor, it's always a good idea to stay behind your allies. The ST-A1 also has a 16x zoom, allowing for some spectacular plays at long range, but it might be a bit of a hindrance when fighting up close. The ST-A2 definitely had a bit more time in the oven. Its hull and engine deck were redesigned, giving the tank better rear gun depression, which can be very useful in close-range urban engagements, when enemies can appear from any direction. Overall, it's still very similar to the previous design. Good gun, weak armor, it's all the same. The ST-A3 inherited the same set of flaws, but in many ways it was a massive departure from its predecessors. Yeah, the tank uses the same shells and the gun is of the same caliber, but it's a Japanese-made cannon now, fitted with an autoloader that allows you to fire 10 shots per minute. Yeah, the tank is slightly less mobile, but an increase in fire rate allows you to both eliminate enemies effectively at long range with the help of a rangefinder, or give enemies hell in CQC, if need be. The first ever Japanese production MBT is the Type 61, and its most important new feature is that it's equipped with smoke grenade launchers. They're very useful for getting out of hairy situations. Unfortunately, the version of the tank that was accepted into production was not fitted with an autoloader, and so it has a fire rate that's on par with earlier models. Armor and mobility also leave much to be desired. And that's why the Type 61 is best used at mid to long ranges, where you have more opportunities to hide your vulnerable hull behind terrain. The STB-2 has a noticeably better armor package. Its hull and turret have a lot of areas that can withstand hits by the Soviet 100 and 122mm shells with explosive filler, and they don't have that many actual weak spots, especially if you make use of hull-down positions. As it happens, this kind of playstyle fits the STB-2 perfectly, as its hydropneumatic suspension allows you to have enough elevation in basically any situation and on any kind of terrain. Furthermore, good armor isn't the only thing this tank has going for it. Yeah, it's not that fast in reverse, but otherwise, it's pretty mobile. The STB-2 can get to key positions right at the start of the match, and then hold them till the very end. A brand new 105mm cannon can reliably penetrate the armor of most opponents you can run into. But keep in mind that there are a few extra sturdy tanks that won't be easily damaged by your sub-caliber rounds. The C variant of the Type 74 is much better at dealing with heavily armored targets. It received new heat rounds that can pierce up to 400mm of steel. That's enough firepower to penetrate the defenses of any opponent at long range. Late production variants like the Type 74E or the Type 74F are not that effective at close range because of their optics, at least compared to their counterparts from other nations. At close range though, it's a completely different story. Thanks to their powerful APF SDS shells, late Type 74s can take on the most advanced MBTs out there. The Type 74G received a thermal imaging system and side skirts. It's also faster in reverse. All of that helps the tank to be an even better sniper. That said, the Type 74G is not helpless at close range. On the contrary, it can win quite a lot of duels up close. The Type 90, as well as its variant, the Type 90B, represent the next generation of Japanese MBTs. Those are among the most technologically sophisticated and expensive tanks of their era. Just look at the features. Decent protection, good thermals, and an autoloader that allows them to fire every 4 seconds. This kind of fire rate makes it possible to shoot twice before the enemy even locates you, making the Type 90 MBT a truly fearsome flanker. The TKXP has the same set of strengths. It has the same 4-second long reload and a decent armor arrangement, but it's also 5 tons lighter than its predecessor. Furthermore, thanks to its continuously variable transmission, the tank can move at the same speed in both forward and reverse. As a result, the TKXP is one of the fastest vehicles of its class. It's a perfect pick for lightning-quick flanking maneuvers, as it can quickly reposition after each attack and strike again from an unexpected direction. The next model, the TKX, as well as the production version, the Type 10, were fitted with new armor blocks, making them slightly tougher in the front and on the sides. The main new thing, though, was their brand new APF-SDS round. It hits so hard that even the most advanced and well-protected opponents don't stand a chance against it. Japanese MBTs have come a long way, but managed to retain their unique nature, with a very distinct set of strengths and flaws in every generation. Sacrificing armor for mobility has effectively become the norm for Japanese tank designers. Does this approach work for you? What do you think of Japanese tanks? Tell us in the comments below.